That to me is emotional alignment. Not forcing ourselves into gratitude, not pretending everything is okay, but trusting that our emotions can move, trusting and feeling safe enough that our emotions can move when they are welcomed instead of resisted.
Hey, beautiful. Welcome to Naturally Empowered Living, your safe space to guiding you on your unapologetic self awakening journey. This is your weekly sanctuary for waking up from autopilot and transforming the way you approach life through the power of meditation, energetics, and root cause therapy. It is my mission to help you heal unprocessed emotions and release stuck energies by alchemizing your struggle cycles into opportunities for deep self love, awareness, trust, and connection, to return to your innate essence of being, stepping back into your energy of alignment. Because here, we honor all parts of ourselves, the messy and the magic, the shadows and the light, embodying all parts that make you, you. So if you are ready to get to the root of cultivating real change, get cozy, grab your journal and maybe favorite crystals, and let's discover our power within together.
What is up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Naturally Empowered Living podcast. This is your host, guide, and mentor in all things energetics, emotions, and self awakening, Jenna Smith. And today's episode has been a long time coming. It is, oof, I'm excited. I'm excited for today's episode because over the last few years, gosh, when did I start this podcast? I knew it was October 2021, 2022. I'm not sure. But this podcast has grown alongside me, right? Alongside me since years past. And as I've healed, as I've learned, as I've worked with clients, as I've deepened my understandings, my education, perceptions of life, let's say, with trauma and the nervous system and emotions and subconscious mind, like all the things that I have just found myself so passionate about, like the hills that I will die on. And if you've been here for a while since the beginning, hi, thank you, I love you so. Even if this is your first episode, hi, thank you, I love you so. But if you've been here for a while, you probably have noticed that things have changed. My language has changed. The way that I talk about healing or just talk in general, it's changed. Even the questions that I ask, the topics that we cover have changed. And it's funny that the things, probably even episode one, the Balanced Mom method, it's still the same type of concepts that I talk about today. It's just a different language, right? I used to say life work. I used to say mindset loop. Now I guess I still say those two things. Bad example. But concepts, the pillars, the things that I used to talk about, it might just be a little different, but it's beautiful how it's still like the same foundational things. Super cool. But things really have also changed. I've changed my mind. And that's okay because circumstances change and you can change with the circumstances. So, yes, some of my perceptions and some of my education understandings have evolved. So, today really isn't like announcing something new, it's really sharing about what I believe now. Of course, no, I don't have all the answers. And that's the beauty of life. We're all in Earth School, right? We all have our own perceptions. We all have our own realities. So if you resonate to what this episode is going to bring you, amazing. But this really is where my own healing journey, my own client work, my practice, years of curiosity and education, and just learning about life has led me. So let's jump in. If someone asked me today, Jenna, what is healing really about? This is what I would say. I think that we've become absolutely addicted to understanding. We've become addicted to awareness. Like we live in a world obsessed with learning, oh my gosh, consumption. I could go on a whole tangent here talking about consumption. Just pick up your phone and go on social media, right? And of course, social media models are built for consumption, right? They trick out your brain into giving you that dopamine hit to continue that consumption. So we are addicted to consumption and understanding. And before anyone gets defensive, I will be the first to say I love it. Like I love learning. I love learning. I've read the books. I've listened to hundreds of podcasts. I've taken countless courses. I have countless certifications. I've studied trauma, attachment, nervous system, subconscious, energy, psychology, like all of it. Knowledge is beautiful. Understanding ourselves is beautiful. But this is really fascinating how people know more about life and the world and healing than ever before. Yet we still feel so disconnected and so stuck. We know of the anxious attachment we have. We know that this came from childhood. We know that I'm people pleasing. We know that my nervous system is dysregulated. Like I know why I react like this, right? It you could go on. Yet nothing changes. Like you've probably caught yourself saying at some point in time like I know this about me, but why do I still feel this way? Like I still catch myself doing that, saying that, feeling that. And I think that that's one of the biggest questions that people carry. And especially in today's society, built everything, technology is being built for massive consumption. And I won't go on that tangent of the conspiracy theories of why, but awareness has become the finish line. But awareness is not the finish line, actually. It's the starting point. It's not the destination, it's the invitation in. Like you can understand every chapter of your childhood and still feel unsafe. You could know exactly why you react, yet still are triggered and react in the same way. You can intellectually understand your emotions without ever allowing yourself to truly experience them. And that right there, that gap, that dash, if you will, that's a huge realization. It was for me, at least. Like healing isn't just about knowing, it's now about integrating, about the how. Like this has been probably the biggest shift in my work. And it might sound so simple because we all know who, what, where, when, how, right? You learn that in school. And I genuinely believe that the missing link in healing is feeling before understanding. We've been taught the opposite. We've been taught to analyze it, to learn it, to figure it out, to fix it, to make sense of it, to find the lesson, to move on. But what if the lesson comes after the feeling, not before? I think so many of us try to think our way through our emotions, or we just shove it under the rug because we're so busy in the going back to the beginning of this episode, the consumption that we are intertwined with right now, instead of allowing it, allowing them to move through. Like when I first started healing, or let's just say when I first started this business, as in it was a vision in my mind, and it started with me first, but I was a brand new mom. I was in the fourth trimester blur, right? Anxiety, depression, all of it, trying to figure out now life and motherhood and keeping another human alive while I'm struggling, and just the spiritual awakening of it all that also was happening, right? Just really tying it, that spiritual awakening was really tying it all together in just this unhinged feral bow. I wanted to understand everything. It was like this can of worms or this Pandora's box, if you will, like bringing light to all the shadows, all the things coming out. I wanted to know why I thought the way I thought. I wanted to know why I reacted the way I did. I wanted to know where these patterns were coming from. Why are there different religions, different beliefs, when I knew deep down in my core that there everything is paralleled, everything is the same down to the core. I devoured the books, the podcasts, the trainings. I wanted to connect all of the dots in life, like curiosity and questioning everything. Like I life became so much more crystal clear. And it was probably the lowest of the low of my life at the same time. But that season of really all my perceptions and perspectives of life were changing. It was exactly what I needed in that season of my life. But if I'm being honest also, and going back to being the lowest of the low, is because I wasn't actually feeling much. I was learning about my emotions. I was learning about religions and spirituality and psychology and why we work the way we do. And it was fascinating. But I really wasn't allowing myself to experience or feel it. And looking back now, like, no judgment to that version of me at all. Like, we are exactly where we are meant to be at all times. It was a natural part of my journey, just like grief has natural different stages. A spiritual awakening has different steps. Healing isn't one moment where everything suddenly clicks. It's an unfolding, it's a progression, it's an evolution. And I've said this so many times before, call it a spiritual awakening, or honestly, call it a midlife crisis. Like, the terminology does not really matter. Okay, what resonates with you? What matters is that life has a beautiful way of continuously inviting us into deeper awareness, into deeper connection to ourselves, into deeper embodiment with our truth. And for me, that first invitation, brand new mom, like, my children, oh my, like, we don't need to get on this Jenna's story right now, but there's just so many synchronicities to as to why the Saturn return, all being like in that same season of my life. My first invitation was into understanding, and the next was into feeling. And those are two very different things. Like, I became so fascinated, not just with the learnings, of the subconscious mind, but with emotions and the nervous system and trauma and why we do the things we do and the patterns that we have and why do things recur. Like, why do you see you want to buy this new car and you keep seeing the same car driving by? Like, all this shit fascinated me so, so much. And with what happens when we stop trying to think our way through XYZ, instead of creating enough safety to actually feel through what is living underneath the surface. Like, bring in the energetics into this, bring in the imprints into this, bring in the upbringing and again, going back to the patterns of the conditioning of the subconscious, of the nervous system, of the familiarity. Even if it's not healthy, it's still familiar, it's still comfortable, so your nervous system is going to naturally attract and choose that. And I really can't even fully explain it, but every piece, this is about 8 years ago since becoming a mom, since this spiritual awakening. I mean, it was truly like so feral and unhinged, like how everything just smacked me in the face all at the same, I mean, quote unquote time. But it's been this unfolding over the last 8 years. But it's felt like a coming home. Like, every milestone, every failure, every step back, every bit of learning, like the discernment of learning what was for me and what was not for me. Like, I became clearer and clearer and more confident in what my purpose here is in this life. And I wanted to put in that too, the failures, the step backs, because there are going to be more, right? And it's having that discernment, that humility, that acceptance of knowing, what's that quote? If you knew you could fail 1,000 times to get to your quote unquote, whatever your terminology or definition of success is, wouldn't you want to fail as quickly as you could, knowing that 1,000th time you'd get there? Like, it was never just another topic I wanted to study or something I wanted to learn about. It felt like I was coming home to what I've always known. Like, I would read something and it would be so divine, but like this inner wisdom that I've already known. And it was just like reading that was a reminder. And the more that I leaned into this work, is that we have forgotten how to be with ourselves. And maybe that's why so many people feel stuck despite years of personal development, of self awareness, of learning and just consuming, consuming, consuming. Because maybe the next step is not another book or another podcast or more information. Maybe it's an invitation to be with yourself. So, this has become one of my favorite things to teach. Like, we've made our feelings the enemy. Let it be societal conditioning, upbringing, whatever it is. But the sadness, bad. Anger, bad. Fear, bad. Grief, bad. Like, all those heavy, big emotions are just something to get over. But what if those emotions aren't wrong? Aren't wrong to feel? What if they're information for you? A message for you? All of your feelings are valid. Not to say actions and behaviors are. But all of your feelings are valid. They are messengers here to tell you something. And we have been learned and conditioned to silence them, to suppress them. Like, one of my new favorite things to talk about is how your past lives in your present patterns. And I'm not saying that in terms of we're prisoners of the past and our past is defining us. Yeah, absolutely, if we're not aware, for sure. But think of the quote by Carl Jung. He says, "I'm not what happened to me, I am who I choose to become." Or Gabor Mate, he says, "Trauma is not what happens to you. Trauma is what happens inside of you as a result of what happens to you." So, what I mean by when I say your past lives in your present patterns, it's simply that your nervous system remembers, your subconscious remembers, our bodies remember, and beliefs are formed. They are ways that learn to keep us alive, protective strategies that once made sense. The people pleasing, the perfectionism, the avoidance, the control, the hypervigilance, those patterns don't just appear randomly. They were conditioned to feel familiar and safe in whatever moment that they started. They developed for a reason. And the beautiful thing is when we understand that with compassion and without judgment and stop asking what's wrong with me and start asking what happened that made this pattern necessary. That's beauty. That is divine. And this is also bringing in that disconnect and that gap of we feel that understanding alone can create change. I've decided to stop people pleasing. I've decided to trust myself. I've decided to stop overthinking. Absolutely great. Step one, here you are. But the subconscious hasn't changed by that decision alone. Hence, like the whole purpose of this episode, right? Being beyond self awareness and beyond understanding. Our subconscious, our nervous system is shaped by our experience, which is why healing often requires more than conscious awareness. It asks us to gently revisit what our body and our subconscious have been carrying all along. And one thing that I hear all the time, and we just talked about this a couple episodes back with Lindsay Robinson, we talked about how so many of us, or how it's just this common misconception that I'm scared to feel sad. Or if I focus on fear or whatever that is, I'm going to manifest, I'm going to create more of it. And I totally used to be there too. Like, I used to wonder that too. Like, can you really manifest something negative by feeling it for so long or ruminating on it? And we're not going to get into actually like the manifesting of illness and all that stuff. But I used to wonder that if I feel the sadness, it's going to perpetuate into bigger sadness. Or if I fear the fear or focus on the fear, then I'm going to manifest more fear. But this is what I've come to believe is that we do not stay stuck because we feel the emotions. We stay stuck because we resist them. Emotions are designed to move. Emotions are energy in motion. Resistance is what keeps them lingering. And that is what creates the bigger compounded manifestations. So, no, I do not believe that by feeling the sadness or feeling the fear or the grief, it's going to create more. Often, allowing an emotion to move through you creates more freedom than avoiding it ever could. Because think of like the time when you have a really good cry, and after you cry, then like all this clarity, or like maybe you feel at peace or you feel lighter, or you're like, oh, that felt really fucking good because you released and discharged all that energy. And now you have space for the clarity, for the lessons. And that right there is this whole episode. We are so quick to jump to the conclusion and then the lesson and trying to fix it. The step before that is actually feeling it. That missing link is the feeling. Allow the feeling to move through you and to process, and then allow the clarity and the lessons. That to me is emotional alignment. Not forcing ourselves into gratitude, not pretending everything is okay, but trusting that our emotions can move, trusting and feeling safe enough that our emotions can move when they are welcomed instead of resisted. Just let that sink in for a minute. Healing is never about fixing yourself. It isn't about becoming someone new or chasing a higher version of yourself. It's already you. It's already within you. It's about remembering who you've always been, who you are beneath the protective patterns, beneath the emotional wounds, beneath the subconscious conditioning. Like it's coming home to yourself. And I know that sounds so woo and cliche, but I don't really know other words to put into it. And I like to use terms like manifestation or gratitude or coming home to yourself. Not even that I agree with those words completely, but it's because they're more well known, normalized words. So if you've been listening, thank you for still listening. I mean, we're only at 20 minutes here. It's not that long of an episode, but if you've been listening to this show since the beginning for a couple years, for a couple months, like thank you. You have grown with me. And even if this is your first episode, like welcome. Everything I teach now comes back to a handful of simple truths. Your past lives in your present patterns. Feelings are messengers. The missing link is feeling before understanding, and then allow the lessons. Healing goes beyond mindset and self awareness alone. And healing is not about fixing yourself. It's about creating a safe space to feel what you've never been allowed to feel before. So you can create a life rooted in choice rather than conditioning. Thank you so much for being here, for listening to this episode. I hope it resonated, and I would love to know if it did. So please leave a review if you haven't yet before. I would so love to hear what you feel about this episode, about this show. And if it did resonate, please send it to a loved one or someone that you feel can also connect with this episode and just feel good, right? If I can just leave anything with you, it truly is. I'm kind of at a loss for words because there's a lot of things that I want to leave you with, but something that just came to me and I'm trusting it because I've had a lot of consults lately. And there's the pattern there has been my brain is telling me one thing, but my heart is saying another. And my response to that is I'm not here to tell you which path to choose. I'm here to help you find the clarity for yourself, to lead with what feels good, and to feel safe enough to do so. Thank you for being here. I will post a few ways to connect with me in the show notes below. I actually have a link tree. So it's like that one link and it shows all the things, all the ways to connect, all the ways to work with me. I have a 3-part workshop series completely free, how to build trust in yourself by reconnecting with your felt sense. I have meditations, I have one-on-one containers. So go ahead and take a look at the link in the show notes. I'll link that below. And again, if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone that you love, leave a review, or explore ways working together. I am always here for you. I'm sending you so much love. Until next week, as always, simply be you. You have everything inside of you to learn your energy of alignment and be unapologetic in who you are. I'm sending my love and so much light.
Did you find this episode free or empowering? Please read my review. Tickle, 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 boop.
Thank you for spending this sacred time with me on Naturally Empowered Living. If this episode brought you closer to stepping into your energy of alignment, I'd love for you to leave a written review and share how this show has supported your journey. Your feedback truly lights me up and helps others find the space of transformation. And sharing it with someone who might need it spreads the ripple of healing even further. Be sure to check the show notes for ways to connect with me and explore personalized healing sessions and mentorships to deepen your self-awakening journey. Thank you. I appreciate all you are and all you do.